Hello, and welcome to Michell Consulting's webinar series for SAP Business One. Today we're going to talk about the PickPack Manager and the PickPack system in SAP Business One. You can see here, if you go to Inventory, you have under PickPack, the PickPack Manager and the Pick List. So let's talk a little bit about what the PickPack Manager is. In SAP, this allows us to gather documents, sales orders, consolidate them for our warehouse to then manage, pick the information via the pick list, and then create the delivery ticket. So as we know from SAP, if we look in the sales process, we have a sales order. This commits the inventory in SAP. It does not remove it from stock. Then when the inventory is ready to be delivered, we create the delivery ticket. The delivery ticket then will reduce the quantity in stock as well as affect our general ledger. So in between this step, between sales order and delivery, we can use the PickPack Manager to do that. So let's start off by creating a sales order. And for today, I'm just going to use one order, but I'll show you how you consolidate several orders on the picking. We're just going to do a simple order here for Earthshaker. We're going to select some items. And let's just put some quantity here. So I'm going to put, and so on. Now, a little bit about the system where it's going to be drawing information. If we open up our business partner here, you can see that we have information here. This business partner is allowing for partial delivery on sales orders and partial delivery for rolls. What this will allow us to do is actually do a partial pick. So we don't have to pick the entire stock. We can do a partial pick. We also have priorities here for the business partner. Again, you can determine priorities and the order which it picks. So in this case, this business partner, Earthshakers, has a priority of first. So again, we can determine who's going to get the information and who's going to get the quantity first. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this sales order. This is sales order 284. We're going to go ahead and add this order. Now let's look at the PickPack. We're going to go to Inventory, Pick and Pack, and our PickPack Manager. Now from here, we can determine which sales orders we want. We can also do reserve invoices, okay, to create the deliveries, and we can do orders and reserve. We have some information. We can do a date range, so we can say from certain orders. In this case, I'm just going to use order 284 to 284. But what we can do is we can use our delivery date, which we saw I entered on the order as today's date. So we can pull all the sales orders that have a delivery date or certain information. We can also do a customer range. We can do a fulfillment. What this is that it's going to go right now from 0 to 100. So what it's saying is that it's going to be able to fulfill everything. But if we want, we can do a 50%, say, fulfillment, and that what it'll do is it'll only release half the orders that were on there. We can also do an expanded criteria search here. If we click on here, you can see here that we can, again, pull a lot of information. We can pull document dates, business partner reference numbers. We can do it by currencies, by sales employees, ship-tos, and so on. So we have a lot of flexibility on how we want to bring everything over. And you can see that priorities here, too. So again, we can do all this information, which will allow us to really do detail on what we want to do. We can also do individual items, so we can go from item to items, and we can choose our warehouses. Okay, right now we're choosing all the warehouses, and how do we want to sort it? Okay, in this case, we're going to sort by maybe delivery date, but we can do it by customer, by document number, by warehouse, and the priority, because the fulfillment actually goes in the order of which you're running it, so we can do any of these. Let's just go ahead and do this, and let's click OK. And you can see here is our PickPack Manager. Right? You can see we have 3 drawers. We have the open drawer, which is what we're starting at. We can see in this drawer what has been released for picking, and then this final drawer is what's actually been picked. So we're going to go here, and we're going to look at our order, and we can see here the information. Again, you can see the order number 284, the type that is an order. We can see the 3 items on the order, okay, the quantity, the open quantity, the quantity that we want to release, and the available. So we're seeing here that we can do 100% fulfillment. Because here we can see that we have plenty in stock to fill. So let's do, for example, this one. We're gonna select this line and this line. So we're gonna do a partial. So we're gonna release all 10, and here we're gonna release 7. Let's say we only had 7 in stock. So in this case, we have all 10 in stock, so we can release that. Of the 10, we have 7 in stock, or we can release that. And in this case, we don't have any in stock, so we're gonna do that. So we're gonna click here, release the pick. And now let's just create our pick ticket. You can see our picking ticket is going to be number 4. We have our picking date, which is defaulting to today's date, which I can change. The user, again, I'm logged in as Jason. I can assign this to another user if I'd wish, maybe the salesperson for that, and the picker. So I can go here and type the picker. So again, I'm tracking the detail throughout SAP, so I can, if I have an issue with this or there's a problem with the client, I can see who actually picked it. So let's go ahead and add that. And immediately you see that the open has now changed. We can see now that the first line is no longer on here, okay? Item 1, because we released total that. We can see item 2, that we have an open of 3 because we released 7. And we can see on item 3, it's completely open. So we have not released anything on that. If we go now to the release drawer, again, we can see what we've done. We can see our pick here. Okay, we can see the information, again, the warehouse, and all the information we have. We don't have anything right now because we just released it for pick, but we actually haven't picked it yet. So if you go to the pick drawer, you can see that it's done. So we can do this one of 2 ways. We can drill into it through here, open up our pick, okay, or let's close that. We can get it here from the pick list. So you can see here that pick number 4, the status is released. If we look at pick number 3, it's closed because it's been picked. So we can go here and do a couple things. We can now go in and we can pick the merchandise. We can type in what we picked. So in this case, we can also click here to pick all. So basically, we can do that. I'm just going to clear that. So you can see here that we released 10 and we released 7. So we're just going to go ahead and pick all of them. I'm going to click Update. All right. At this point now, we can also go here and we can create the delivery tickets. We can do it through here, but I'm going to actually do it through the Pick Manager. Because, again, with authorizations in SAP, I may have the warehouse. I may give them authorizations to do the pick list, to do this, but not authorizations to complete the cycle. So we're just going to go ahead and click OK. Let's go back to the PickPack Manager, and let's just run it again. Okay, now we can still see we have these open. We can see now we have nothing in the release drawer because we have picked that. So here we can see that we've actually picked the merchandise. So now we're ready to deliver the merchandise. So we can go ahead and select what we want to deliver. And here we can create our delivery. We could do an automatic delivery. An automatic delivery will create the delivery tickets without us having any ability of editing the delivery. So it'll do it automatically. This is fine if everything is set up correctly. Okay, we can do that for several. Or what I can do, I can just do it manually. It's the same process, but what's happening here, when I open up the manual delivery, I have the ability to edit this. I may want to change. I may want to make some changes to the addresses. I want to maybe make some changes to the payment term. Again, I could make different changes. So we're going to go ahead, and we can see that this delivery is going to be linked to pick ID number 4. We're going to go ahead and add the delivery. And again, once we add this, we can't change it because what's happening is we're going to affect our quantity on hand as well as our general ledger. Okay, so let's go look at that. back to the delivery we just did. And again, you can see the quantity. And again, we can see the effect on accounting because we pulled merchandise from the inventory. So we're going to go ahead and make our changes there. Let's go to the sales order. Okay, let's open up our sales order here. We can see that the sales order is still open. We can see that this line here is closed. Okay, and you can see there's no longer a pick status because everything was picked. So this line is closed. You can see this line, we still have an open quantity. So we have 3 on back order. And this one here, we have all 10 on back order. If we right-click and look at the relationship map, we can kind of see what's going on here. So we can see we have our sales order into our delivery. So let's go back now. Let's go back to the PickPack. I just added it to my common functions here, so I don't have to keep opening the menu. So I'm going to use my common functions. I'm going to go back to the PickPack Manager. Again, we're going to use the same criteria. I'm going to go ahead and run this. So let's do this. Now let's go ahead and let's release these two. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to release the pick. We're going to create pick ticket number 5. So you can see now there's nothing here. You can see that it has been released, okay, and it has not been picked. Let's cancel this. Let's go back to the sales order so we can see what's going on. So now you can see that my pick status is in the release, right, because it's no longer open and it's released. It hasn't been picked yet, so that's why we're getting the information here. Let's go to our pick list. Let's call it up. Let's pick all. Let's update. Go back to our sales order. And now you can see that the status changed from the release to the pick. Because we released it and we picked it, but we haven't created the delivery. Once we create the delivery, we're going to close the pick ticket. So right now the status is picked yes. Again, you can watch that process flow, the linking. Again, it makes it a lot easier to go through. So let's go back to our PickPack Manager. Let's run it again. So we can see we have nothing open. We have nothing released. Because our status now is picked. That's why we get that status of Y for picked. So we can do the same thing. We can select the ones we want. We can go to create. We can also create an invoice, okay, because sometimes people don't want to do the delivery. They don't use the delivery stage. They go from a sales order directly to an AR invoice. So if you want to do that, you can actually create the AR invoice here. The AR invoice will do a combination of the delivery and the AR invoice. It'll reduce the quantity on hand, and it will affect the general ledger from the inventory cost of goods as well as the sales and affect the customer's aging. So if you want to bypass the delivery stage, you can do that. We're going to go ahead and create, and we're going to use the automatic creation. Again, the automatic creation is going to create the delivery ticket. The thing is, it's going to do it behind the scenes automatically, so I don't have to make any changes. I'm just going to go ahead and go yes, and you can see now. So now our PickPack Manager is clean. We have nothing open, we have nothing released, and we have nothing picked because we actually did the picking, and we updated that. If we look at our pick list, we can see now that pick is number 5 is closed for sales order 284, and pick number 4 is closed. So you can see information here. We go back to our delivery. Let's call up that last delivery. You can see that this delivery has pick number 5, and this delivery has pick number 4. If we go to our sales order, and we call up our sales order, the sales order is now closed because we have delivered all the merchandise, so we no longer have any open quantity. We can see the status is here, or no. And again, if we look at our relationship map, we can see what we this one order has created these 2 deliveries. So to recap, what we've done the PickPack Manager, which allows us as an intermediate step between sales order and delivery, or between sales order and AR invoice. Remember, in SAP, the sales order is only committing the quantities. It's not affecting any quantity on hand. It's not reducing any stock. It's not affecting any general ledger or historical data. You can take a sales order and copy it to a delivery, which will, again, take the merchandise out of stock, affect the general ledger from the inventory and cost of goods side, and then that delivery can be turned into an AR invoice. The AR invoice will complete the cycle. It will actually go ahead and credit sales and will debit the AR and affect the customer's balance. Remember, we can go directly from sales order to AR, skipping the delivery process, and then it will do the delivery and the AR together. So the PickPack allows us, between sales order and delivery, or sales order and AR, it allows us to group our orders in an organized fashion, create the document for our warehouse employees to go ahead and pick and pack and get all the information together. And again, that is actually in the inventory, and we have the PickPack. The PickPack Manager allows us to select a range, like for example, if I did this, okay, and I go here, right now I'm looking at all the orders that are in the system. So if I wanted to, I can do that. For example, here we can see a date of 5/1. So we can go here and put 0501. And again, we could do it this way. So we can combine several orders. For purposes of the demo, I just did one order so you can see it. But this is kind of the standard way most people do it. They would take everything that needs to be delivered on this date, or let's say delivered tomorrow, and they would go through the process. Once you have once you have the criteria that you want here, again, by doing all this information, you can expand your criteria if you want. Again, you can select several different things, projects, distributions, and so on. Once you have that, you got here, you select the ones, and then you release it to pick. At that case, what happens is it's no longer here. It actually goes into the release drawer. From the release drawer there, you would go into your pick ticket, and you would release it. And then once it's released, you can then go into your pick ticket. And in your pick ticket, you would actually pick what you released. Again, by adding this, what it's going to do, it's going to move the drawers. So we have what's open, what's released, and what's picked. So we'll do a simple one here. We'll just grab this one again just to see it. So we're going to do one. So once we release to pick this order and this item, it's going to create the pick list. Okay, we have to put our date in because we're using backdated stuff. Let's do that. You can see the data because based on authorizations in my demo, I'm releasing something back in May for now. But you can see now that that has been released. Okay, so it's in the release stage. It hasn't been picked yet. It's just been released. So we created our pick ticket. So now the warehouse we can print these pick tickets. We can assign it to a warehouse person. You can see it's released. That person will pull it, pick it. At that point, update. So now it has been picked. So if we go back here, we've gone from release to actually picking it. So we've updated the quantity, so we've picked it. At this point, we picked it. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and we can create our AR invoice or delivery. In this case, let's just create an AR invoice. And again, we're going to click Add. Okay. And you can see now that the drawers are open. So that is the PickPack management system in SAP Business One. Again, it's a nice, useful way of maintaining order. in your warehouse, accountability, because we can have tickets assigned to certain people. If we do have issues or problems, we can always go back, like we saw here on our deliveries. You can see here, we got this one, this pick 5. So we know that we can go back and search. So if we do have a problem, we can go back to the pick. We can put in number 5. And we can see what's going on. So that concludes our little presentation today for the PickPack Manager in SAP Business One. This is being recorded, and we're going to upload this to our website. So if you want to review, please visit our website at www.michellgroup.com, and then from there you can feel free to ask questions or enter any information. Once again, I thank you for your time, and that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much.